One of the most common questions or requests the Landmarks Commission gets is, can I tear my chimney down? I don't think I can repair it. And unfortunately, tearing a chimney down often leads to more leaking and more roof problems and more water problems. So this is a perfect example. The prior owners of this property, without permission, tore a beautiful, historically sensitive chimney down, and they ended up with a gigantic leak in their top attic area. So now new owners, fortunately, are restoring this property correctly. You can see the good work they're doing on the porch, but they had to rebuild the chimney from scratch, which was way more expensive than if they would have just repaired the mortar, done new flashing on the prior chimney, if the prior owner had done that. One of the most important things when you buy a historic home is for you to realize that the most defining features typically are the windows and the doors and the porches of your home. So if you do decide to change those, you want to be sure that you're not only preserving the historic character, but the actual property values of your home. One of the things that people often think, and it's a big myth, that you've got to rush out and get replacement windows. There's actually been a very definitive study by the National Trust for Historic Preservation that shows hands down, if you restore and refurbish the existing historic windows that you have, you're going to save money not only for the initial purchase of replacement windows or doors, but also because the historic materials are actually far more energy efficient than new replacement windows over time. You can read that study on the Preservation Dayton website, but hands down, refurbishing your windows beats going out and buying new materials. So the long and short of it, if you refurbish your windows and doors, it costs less, it's far more energy efficient, and you're not only preserving the character of your own home. You can see from this beautiful streetscape here, you've got the entire street that's consistent with the historic character of this neighborhood. Here's a great example. This homeowner here retained the 6/6 historic windows, which are very common to this period of architecture, and then they added exterior storm windows. There's also companies out there where you can measure yourself and get interior storms and screens as well. So again, there's a lot of solutions out there to make sure you're achieving the energy efficiency of your historic materials and adding even more energy efficiency. I think one of the other great things when I started out as a newbie, new homeowner, never owned a house before, do-it-yourself refurbishing of your windows and doors is really a great way to teach yourself how to do wood restoration, how to rehang double hung windows. Instead of running out to a big box store and spending all that money, I went ahead and we renovated a huge Victorian home and redid every single window. I think the other key tip is you don't have to do it all at once. You know, we worked on the windows that were the worst first to gain our energy efficiency and make our house airtight. And it was a great project that we loved doing. It's a really great example of how this owner actually hired a local craftsman, and she retained the original Italianate curved configuration of her windows. And again, you see the original dimensional mullions. Many times with replacement windows, you just slap up a one-dimensional set of mullions. Here, the owner of this house loved her house so much that she had every window refurbished, retaining its original configuration with the original windows as they were created for this somewhat conservative Italianate Victorian home. So here are several other great examples. You can see in these Italianate homes right here that the curved windows have been maintained. It would have been much easier for the owners of the house to put in a square replacement window, but instead they've retained the complete character of their homes. Many times it's very tempting, especially with basement windows, to just tear them out and either put in solid wood or, heaven forbid, glass brick block. But here you can see the owners of this home also hired a local carpenter who was able to rebuild the original basement window frames and retain the character of the home. This was done about 20 years ago, and you can see how well good wood, if it's kept painted, retains itself. And again, another example of beautiful Italianate windows with exterior storm windows put on for energy efficiency, but retaining the original character of the home. This wonderful double here is another example of a house that most people thought should have been demolished, but the current owner bought it several years ago, brought it back to life. Not only did they bring the home back to life, look how well they treated the original doors. The original doors are refinished. They're the wood doors with the beautiful three-quarters glass window light. And then again, for energy efficiency, a clear glass storm window was put over the original doors. And you can see they retain the original configuration of the windows as well. Here's a great example of a restoration of a front door. When this home was originally renovated, it was a 24-unit rooming house taken back to a 3-unit home. The developers at the time had just put in 2 solid double wooden doors, where you now see the beautiful cut glass door and side light. The prior owners did some research. You can find pictures of your home at the Dayton Public Library, the Dayton History Archives, old news clippings, and saw that the original configuration of the store, again, was a 2/3 window with a side light. So they were able to go to a reclamation company, find a door that fit almost nearly perfectly, have a carpenter install it, and then again you also see the additional screen door, storm door that fits with the period, the Queen Anne period of the home, and adds more energy efficiency. It's a great example of where retaining the original character of your home not only contributes to the value of your home, but it retains the character of this whole entire street. So here we've got 3 historic homes that have retained the original 6/6 windows with all the original window trim, the original doors, and the dimensional mullions, which add so much character to windows. You can see the unique configuration of this window here in the upper story in this simple folk Victorian home. Also with the arches in that small window on the side, and the arches here in this window, and the arches for the lintels, for the cornices of this particular property. So you can see how great the windows and the doors really communicate the personality and historic character of this home.